listening to FNR, Football Nation Radio.
Are you looking to change your destiny in life? Be your own boss? Start your own business? If you are, you need people who understand your needs and are committed to helping you make it happen. At DKP & Co Chartered Accountants, we are more than just accountants. We are business advisors, taxation consultants, and strategists that specialise in setting up businesses. We understand the client and give them the very best customised advice and strategies to achieve their goals. Visit our website dkpco.com.au or give us a call today on 03 9023 9370. Fast, proactive, personal. That's DKP & Co Chartered Accountants.
Since 1998, Lanco Group has been providing superior civil engineering solutions and advice to developers, local government and service authorities across Australia. Lanco Group is known for delivering sustainable, efficient solutions. By working closely with clients, Lanco Group is able to meet the complex infrastructure requirements for residential, commercial and industrial developments on time, on budget. Find out more at lancogroup.com.au. Lanco Group, your business partner for engineering solutions.
Long throw, goalkeeper's come, hasn't got there. Harry Kewell, and then poked home by Tim Cahill. Australia have done it! 6 minutes to go, and it's a landmark moment for Australian football. Tim Cahill has scored the nation's first ever World Cup Finals goal.
You're listening to FNR, Football Nation Radio.
You're listening to Paco Radio, brought to you by Senol on FNR, Football Nation Radio.
Hello everybody and welcome to Paco Radio here on FNR Football Nation Radio, brought to you by Senol. My name is Nick Tabato and here for the 2022 season finale today, and we've brought back the senior head coach and assistant coach, Alex Cobo and Oliver Stankovski in here today. For those wondering who were looking at the fixture and thinking there was a game on tonight, I hope that you haven't gone to John Cain Memorial Park because there's no game tonight. For those just keeping an eye on it, Paco Vale awarded a 3-0 win as a result of a forfeit. But we get to bring you guys in here tonight to talk a little bit about the season and what has been, it's been an incredible journey. Unfortunately, obviously, no promotion at the end of it, but a third place finish. Guys, welcome back. Great to have you both back in here today.
Well, thank you, Nick, for that. It's always a pleasure to come and have a chat to you. As you said, has been a great season for us, especially considering that we, back in October last year, we have to restructure the team, with the departure of David Chick to Dandy Thunder. All the players probably thought that there was the right time for them to move on. And I am a firm believer that we shouldn't stop anybody who wants to leave. We want to work with players who wants to be and play for Paco Vale. I always, since day one, I passed that message to Lou and our committee and Oli and the players who decided to stay from the beginning and say, listen guys, you know what, we can't force anybody to play for us. We believe the club is a great club. Paco Vale is a good club. It's a club that has proven to be a club that develops footballers, a club that is always, or at least has improved over the years and play NPL 1 football for 19 years in a row. What the club is about, and I was I'm still very confident that there are a lot of players who want to play for Paco Vale. We just need to find them, and I think this year we found really good footballers, and we have, with Oli, coaching staff and the club, we're trying to produce a very united, very exciting team that represented the club in the best possible way. And I think if we take that into consideration, I think we have had a great season.
Oliver, I mean, when you look back at this year, I mean, it's been, as I said, it's been one hell of a journey. How have you sort of seen 2022?
Look, a journey's probably an understatement compared to what we've gone through. But I think Alex really summarised it well. The playing group have been fantastic. Had a lot of hurdles through over the 12 months that we've been together. But look, they've been fantastic throughout the year. And I'm not going to name names, but the whole group as a whole have really united in a way that really showed the style and the culture of the club and how we work through as a team. Amazing results throughout that journey, throughout the year, and yeah, it's unfortunate how it all finished off at against Moreland in that sense. But when you look at it as the successes of the year is that you've really got a dynamic team that is full of potential, full of excitement, and a good balance of youth and experience. And really, that's been a testament to not only Alex but the club and the whole playing group as such, and sticking together. So.
You mentioned a few players that stuck around, but it is a new squad. How proud are you of how this team has performed this year? Because it does take a lot of time and a lot of continuity to do something incredible and, over a long period of time with one group. But to finish third, despite having a few players get suspended towards the end of the year and injuries as well, how proud are you of this season, of this group of banding together and being able to do that so quickly in such a short space of time?
Look, I mean, if you tell us at the beginning of the year that we were going to be in this position, that we were going to have some of the performance that we had this year, I think, not even myself, I don't think we would imagine that we could produce that kind of performance, because, as you're saying, it's very difficult. It's something that it takes time. Look, I think one of the things that we just use is that we're trying to be very honest, very simple with what the message we want to, pass it to our players. We want the players to enjoy, coming to the sessions. We want them to we want to do exercises, things that they can see the relation to what we want to do in the games. Rather than just doing exercises that pretty much do not, don't replicate necessarily what we want to do on game day. So I think that link, the training session, we're trying to, we use a lot of players that have been in the club for a while, like the Talaricos, the Johnny Vac, the Yui Youssef, that even Aid and Ali, the boys that have been around for Pascovel to welcome the new players. And we have done a few activities outside of the pitch, and I think that they have been actually fantastic. We have done at least 5 or 6 during the year. Every time that we have new players, we're trying to do it. And you know what? Sometimes people underestimate how important it is for the cohesiveness of the team to get along well, or at least to know each other a little bit more outside of football. It gives you an insight of what the person is and what motivates each individual. And I think we got to the point where we have spent some time outside of football. Yes, we are, full on. But when we are outside of football, we want them to respect who they are as a person, what they stand for, and how we can get the most out of them is also a crucial part by knowing them, outside of football, not just who they are as a footballers.
And Oliver, for yourself, I mean, when you look at it from that point of view, in terms of how the group has banded together this year, how have you seen it?
Look, the old analogy that it is a family. We should never be underestimated within the group. Those boys are there, 3-4 times a week, constantly, in each other's faces, working hard for the same objective. And when you have that sort of mentality around, and you've got a very good group of support staff, volunteers, club, officials, really banding together for one directive, you sort of, that sort of filters through, that energetic sort of feel goes through the team. And look, the boys have been really, really good and really focused, especially the leaders that Alex spoke about in really getting those boys to, all around the group to sort of feel that they're part of it. They're part of it, the journey, and I think the most important thing, what I saw, is that no one thought they were all bigger than each other. I mean, everyone really, and we've got some big personalities in our team.
Yeah.
We obviously know Terence Carter. We know.
Yes.
He's a fantastic, not only person within the group, but he's a role model to a lot of the young Miniroos as well. But then you've got another big personality, which we surprised us a little bit with, Felipe.
Yeah.
You look at this small statured person, and he's got such a big influence on some of the Miniroos, and that's what makes a group, in regards to how they are perceived within the club, but also within the group. And then you got, you don't have to talk about the leaders like Tuller and, Yui when he was there, but then you've got, figures like Barty, who are really an inspiration to the group too, because they're the guys that goes to battle week in, week out, and actually step up when they need to. So these are the guys that are really, really sort of working through, and we don't have to go on one by one.
Sure.
You look at Ricky coming from Japan. You've got Aiden. He's been had an exceptional year. They've all had elements of what they bring to the side, and a lot of people don't realise that when you collectively put that together, that's how you build a team.
Yeah.
And I keep saying to the guys that when you have something like that, when you have that chemistry within the group and how things work, that's not something to be, to blink at. That's actually something to really grasp on and hold on to it as much as you can, because obviously, Alex has played, I've played, been a lot of coaches out there that would realise once you've got something that's really good, you try and hold on to it as long as you possibly can, so you can, keep going on that journey as far as it can take you. So
you spoke about chemistry. One thing I noticed particularly towards the end of the season, some of those really big games like the North Geelong game, the Bulleen game, and of course even the Moreland City game, there were moments early in the game where you fell behind, but it never, ever looked like they dropped their heads, and it was always, all right, straight back on, immediate response, goal straight away. Did you notice that in terms of the attitude and just that the players always were still holding their heads high? They're always, all right, like on to the next one, because we see it with some teams. You look at some of teams who have fallen down the ladder this year, any side in any of the three tiers of NPL, they concede and immediately they fold, and you see teams, they drop their heads and they let it get to them. But with you guys, it looked like, at least from an outside point of view, that it was all right, back onto task, and you guys would surge ahead, and especially in some of those bigger games. Is that something you kind of noticed in towards the end of the year as well?
I think there was a particular game where we conceded 3 goals in 5 minutes against Moreland City, actually, when we played away. And that was a very defining moment for us, where we told the boys, and we had a conversation at halftime, and we said, well, look, guys, this is something that first is not good enough. We are much better than that. This is where we expect our leaders and everyone to say something and positively react to that kind of situation. Say, this is not going to be the first or the last time that we're going to start a game and we're going to start losing that game. But this is where we need to show character, personality, where we need to manage the emotions that we have at that time and deal with it. We had a big conversation at that halftime, but also afterwards with the boys, and I think the response was fantastic. I remember the boys having a chat between themselves before training, and when they came out of that meeting, they look at us and they say, we're ready now. I say, well, because I said to the boys, guys, you're the ones who are playing. We kind of scream as much as we want from the outside, but you guys are the ones who play. They're the ones who have control over the game. So, and from that moment onwards, I think we never felt, we never went in the same way. Like we drop our heads or things like that. That that was really an important lesson for us. And I believe afterwards we managed that really well. There were a few games, not only those games. We against Werribee we were losing 1-0, against Moreland City that we equalised. The Bullying Lions as well.
Yeah.
So, but we kept the composure. The boys talk about it, and we did it. And that is how you build and make a team stronger. Not only adding quality footballers, but also reflecting on moments that they are crucial to understand and be able to address differently.
As a coaching group, I want to ask, it's obviously wasn't the result that, it was such a great occasion that game against Moreland City. The 2-1 loss in such, it's the most heartbreaking way to lose a game of football. But what do you say to a group after that as a coaching staff? Because it is such a final moment in terms of what was on the line and everything. And obviously there are a lot of down players, seeing the players all fall to the ground after the whistle and realising what had happened. And obviously the emotions were really high. What do you say to the group after that? Because there was still one game to play, obviously it didn't end up happening. You got some practice matches to come, but how do you get the spirits back up after a moment like that? Because I can imagine how tough it would be as well for a coaching group.
Look, I think that there is a concept that I always use to when I speak to the boys, and even for my life as well, is not to confuse what is urgent or what is important. Now, the urgent is the game that we just lost. The important thing is that we should learn and grow from that moment, exactly like we did when we had a practice game at the beginning of the year and we lost against South Melbourne 7-0, for example. That was 7-1 or whatever. There were a lot of things for us to improve when we lost and games, during the season as well. When we conceded 3 goals in 5 minutes, we have had moments where we haven't done things right. But that is not the point. The point is, guys, we are growing as a group, and from where we were 1 year ago to where we are right now is we are a very different team. Now, we said to the boys, listen, I know that you don't see it that way, but we should learn from this moment. We are very proud of you, each of you, not only the coaching staff, but each member of Pascovel. We have given the club amazing nights and moments that they feel like they're very happy and proud to be a Pascovel supporter. And I say, one game is never going to change that feeling, because we have done a lot for the club, and I think we believe that we can grow from this moment like we have in other situations, and it's not different. And we actually give it a hug to each player, because we believe that they needed that kind of comfort after that moment. It was absolutely devastating.
Yeah.
We're going to try to send the boys in a spirit that, we know that they give it all, and that for us as a coaching team and as a club, I believe is the most important thing. Sometimes football, you get the results you want, you can play unbelievable and lose a game, and that game, I thought we play hard, we play with passion, we tried our best, even with 10 men, we went for the result. We acted like a big club, like the way we believe and we consider ourselves, and big clubs with big ambitions, they always find a way to improve and learn the lesson. And I hope that we take a lot of lessons from those moments.
In terms of the occasion, it was a really special occasion, seeing that many people there, and the whole club almost was there, and a lot of people just it was the moment, it was the game that everyone wanted to be at. It was the hot ticket item. In terms of seeing the groundswell of support from Pascoe Vale people, how exciting was that, to walk out onto CB Smith Reserve and see just this wall of noise and, all the young kids getting involved and everything. Ollie, how exciting was that, just to see all of that on that Friday night?
Look, it was a good night for football.
Yeah.
I've heard that terminology. Craig screamed it to me up from the stands, and we had a bit of a chat about it after the game. I say this, Pasco Vale's a big club. They've been at the pinnacle and they were there for quite a long time, so they've got an unbelievable supporter base, passionate supporter base, and they know what they want. Our group knows what they want, and I think the most important thing about this playing group in particular is that they were able to, in some way or form, ultimately we understand that we didn't get to that pinnacle where we wanted it all to be, but they were able to provide some memories to, you know, the mini roos, the supporters in bringing them on that journey to believe. And yes, there were some ups and downs within the season, and look, that's part of football. Yeah. Football is you know, a passionate supporter base, you know, being brought on that journey, and you're going to have your highs and lows, and you know, when the lows are there, it's about how you really get through that period to keep that will to keep going. And these boys showed, you know, as you said before, there would be moments within games that, you know, everything's against them, and they'll find something, and there have been moments where they were able to do that, and that shows that they have that belief. And they have that will to succeed, and you can't take that out of a group. That's going to remain there. It's about how now you get that next percent, that extra 1% in you know, to achieve what we need. And I'm a big believer of those 1%ers, as the boys have heard me a few times. But we as a group and we as a club, we don't step back from being a big club. That's the testament of Pasco Vale, and you know, where, you know, we've had some big personalities over the years as well that have helped shape the club be a big club, and you know, they all should be remembered in developing that where we're at. But it's part of this group and in helping achieve that going forward. So.
Yeah, well, I mean, it is, despite what happens, it's an exciting time, I guess, at Pasco Vale. I mean, the next few weeks, even though season's over, it's an opportunity for you guys to play against a couple A-League opposition. I mean, what do you take out of those sort of games? Obviously, it is the end of the season, but it is an opportunity to test yourselves against the best of the best. I guess, what's sort of the message going into these games? Like, what can you take out of that, I guess, going into next season as well?
Even when it's a very similar approach that we had at the beginning of the preseason, when we play all MPO1 teams, all of them. And then, you know, I remember, you know, that people like have concerns. Well, how come we're going to play against the Green Galleys, the South Melbourne, the Avondales, you know, this and that? And I said, well, because it's important for us to really know where we are. What are the things that we really need to work on, you know? You know, it is, I mean, this is for me as a coach, I find it very... you know, what's the point to go and play against an opposition that is not your opposition, where you can get away with a lot of things, players, coaching staff, everyone working out of that with irrelevant conclusions about what you have, what you need. So when we wanna prepare the team, you know, we wanna play against the best. We're not afraid we can't be afraid to play against a good side, you know. We cannot consider ourselves a big club if we don't want to play against the best, you know. And that's number one. And number two, those are opportunities for us to really see what we can improve, what can we add to our squad and our team. And all those games that we play against those MPO1 sides at the beginning of the preseason will help us a lot during the season, because when we went to the season, then obviously, you know, we were playing teams that have been together for a while, that they've been, you know, obviously have quality footballers, you know, and all of a sudden now it really helped us to understand where we were and define clearly what our team was capable of and what not, and then we defined the strategies. And I remember, I think I said that to Oli, and the boys said, from now on we're going to win. You know, we're not going to try it anymore. We want to win from now on. It's time to win, and we're going to do that. And I think right now we can identify that moment. These games that we're going to play against A-League clubs are going to help us to develop the team even further. And I think it's also a reward for our boys that, you know, I think they have had a good season, and and why not, go and have it a good, give it a good run to this team. Why not?
Well, it's a bit of a free hit. I mean, you guys have got nothing to lose. I mean, you go out there, you give it, and you try and go for the win. Who knows what can happen? I mean, Always. It is just a friendly. So, it is that opportunity as well for some of the younger guys in particular to put their names up in lights as well, because obviously there will be a lot of eyeballs on it, from big A-League clubs, of course, the opposition, and as well people just who might be keen observers. Looking ahead now, obviously, to 2023, what's sort of the plan now after the pre-season friendlies? A bit of time off to sort of, let the players a bit of time, then go into pre-season towards the end of the year. How does the off-season look for the team going into next year?
Well, right now, this is more like at a personal level. For me, it has been a very full-on season. I'm trying to balance my life with my kids, with my business, with the coaching, and all the challenges that come along with that. I've asked the club and the boys as well, a few days until I can organize my feelings, my thoughts. I want to have a chat individually with our coaching staff to really, gather important information in areas that we have done well and areas that we can improve, and sit down with the club and really have honest conversation about things that moving forward we need to discuss, we need to talk about, and how we can, as a collective group, we can improve. So we understand as well the dynamics of football here in Victoria and even in Australia, where right now there are clubs recruiting players. It's absolutely like it gets wild. It's a bit of a jungle where everyone is talking and players and approaching. You know what? We feel very comfortable with what we have done, what we have provided to the players. We believe our players have improved under our guidance this year. We believe that many players, great footballers, could have a fantastic season with us if they would like to. We definitely would like to keep our boys. We believe we have an amazing playing group. And we just ask the boys a few days until we can have that conversation. We cannot rush decisions without really shaping the clear direction of what we want to achieve in 2023. That it's important that we as a coaching staff and club, we define, and as soon as that's clear, we can work consistently across with the players, with the coaching staff, with our members, and to tell them this is our objective, this is how we're going to do things. Would you like to be part of? Would you like to continue the journey with us or not? It's something like that, and that's pretty much how we're going about it, and hopefully we can build a very strong side for 2023.
Looking ahead to 2023, it is going to be an expanded league, and there are some, Preston Lions coming up, Melbourne City coming up, Dandy City and Eastern Lions coming down. It's going to be an exciting year in NPL2 and a lot of bigger games against bigger opposition. Have you guys looked ahead and started, because everyone's always been talking about, with Preston especially, coming up, a team that, going to draw some big attention, big crowds, everything like that. It almost seems like, to an extent, NPL2 is the place to be next season in that sense. But are you guys looking forward to those new challenges and the expanded league and more games next season as well?
I'm sure Preston's saying how they're looking forward to playing Paco, just like how we're saying we're looking forward to playing Preston Lions. So, look, in all due respect, we can only plan on what we're going to do. It's going to be a big test for our boys, a big test for the club, but I'm sure it's going to be a big test for every other club that's going to be in NPL2 next year. And there's no guarantee for success. That's for any club. You can only plan as best as you possibly can, and as coaches, to try and put the best foot forward. And I've been long enough in football to realise that, as I said before, once you've got something that that's gelled there. That's something that's going good. You work on as much as you can to try and work through that. So. We're excited, and I'm sure they're excited as well.
Look, I mean, what he says is true. You know, like we can never gonna improve or be ready for MPO1 football if we don't play big games.
Yeah.
You know, if we don't play against good opposition, you know, like it doesn't make sense that for us, or at least you know that we want to play MPO1 football against the best teams in Victoria. And be prepared for it, prepare for crowds, prepare for teams with different football styles, you know, with different fields, you know, football philosophy. Like there are so many. I mean, it's exciting that we actually have all these good teams coming up, you know, in the league, because I think it can only make everyone better, you know. Honestly, even this year, you know, like the league was, until the last day, it was very hard to predict what was going to happen. The only team that obviously everyone knew that it were relegated, they were in the playoffs 100% was GVS. Until the last day, it wasn't defined. But even GVS, let me tell you, I believe they're a good side. They're a really good side, and I've said that to the former coach, Craig. I don't know if he's still there or not, but I said that to him, and I said it to many people. I say, GVS, they're a great side, you know, they play good football, you know, they have good parents, you know, you can tell how loyal the players are to the football style, and you don't get that very easily, you know. So, you know, that's the kind of games and opposition you wanna verse so you can improve, and then when you get to play against the big boys, if we put it that way, then you're prepared. You're prepared to the likes of South, you know, and Port Melbournes and Oakleys and Hariburs and Green Gully and everyone else in that mix, that they are unbelievable teams, you know. So that's what we want. Good teams, good opposition, you know, opportunity for us to improve and get better as coaches and as a team.
Nick, I've said this before, and I know I'm gonna pay for this later on from Alex, but you know, I can't wait till, you know, next year where, you know, I'm next to Alex and Alex turns around and says, what a game again. He's only done it to me a couple of times this year. So he gets in those moments where he loves the contest. And, you know, that from a coaching group, that actually really, you know, it puts us on from the get-go. And, you know, that makes us believe in our playing group and makes us understand, you know, we're up for it. And, you know, when Alex turns to say, what a game, you're like, Alex, let's just win the game. But it's testament because it's the style that we're playing, that excitement, that brand of football that we're putting onto the boys, and the boys are showing it and have really bought into it. And so, you know, when we're playing teams next year, you know, whether it be the Melbourne Cities or they're a big club too.
Absolutely.
You know, Preston Lions and let's not talk, you know, not forget Moreland Zebras and a few other teams that were in this year that really, really put a lot of teams to the sword. It's going to be a tough year. So no problems with that. We're just going to enjoy what comes our way, and we're going to try our best in delivering what we need to deliver.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, guys, we're coming towards the end now. I just want to say, you know, from my point of view, I spoke to a lot of people in the NPL circles about you guys when watching you guys play. Never a bad game, you know, at least from an external point of view. Always play a really exciting brand. And I mean, not to, you know, rain on the parade of other teams, but I mean, you don't see that too often in terms of teams that actually want to play pure football and want to play along the deck, and it looks good for the neutral at least. So a kudos to what you guys have been able to achieve. It obviously is, there's that disappointment, there's no promotion, but I'm sure next year, even with that extra competition, you guys are going to be right up there again next year. And I am, as you guys are looking forward to, I can't wait to see what's in store for you guys and for everyone else. I think it's going to be an incredible season.
Well, thank you, Nick, for having us. We also look forward to next year. I believe this is fantastic for football in Victoria, you know, for our younger generations, that they can come to the games, they feel excited, they feel attached to a club, they feel identify with senior footballers, which I think is happening, at least at our club. You know, this is something that we're very proud of, you know, that to see our young footballers, you know, coming and supporting the team, our senior players going to the games on Sundays, you know, because that is how we could develop football in Australia further.
Yeah.
And if I can finish by saying,
absolutely,
just a shout out to our mini roos. And one mini roo that's been by our side the whole year, Mr. Rocco himself, and the boys all know him. Look, they've all been amazing, and in particular Rocco, that's been with the under 21s, under 18s, and under the seniors. He's always around, and special mention to him and his family. They've been unbelievable supporters of the club. But really, what Alex is saying is that we provide that show not only for the neutral supporter, but really our brand, our supporters, and our mini roos, to give them something that they can carry forward, and hopefully we see some of those mini roos into the senior team, like Paco's produced over the years. So that's the exciting brand that we want to see, and hopefully we see Rocco in a Paco shirt in the senior team one day.
Yeah, maybe 10 years time, a bit around there. We'll see.
Maybe he's a great hugger, he looked at me like this, and I think you need a hug, Alex. And I'm like, okay, that's unbelievable, to have kids like that at the club, and that they can feel the passion for the club.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, guys, again, thank you so much for coming in tonight. Again, good luck for the two friendlies that are coming up. They're going to be massive games. Looking forward to seeing, what transpires. And again, looking forward to 2023. You guys deserve a bit of a rest now, especially after this year. I'm sure it's been a long one, but straight back to work and looking forward to seeing what comes after that. So, again, thank you very much. And thank you again to everyone who's been on the show throughout the year. All the guests, all the administrators, coaches, Lou Toner as well for setting this up, and as well to Senol, who have sponsored the show the whole way through. But if you missed any of it, head over to our podcast platforms. It'll be up on Spotify, Apple, wherever you get it, or go back to the Facebook live stream and give it a watch as well. But for myself, Nick Tabano, Alex Cobo, and Oliver Stankovski, it's goodbye for now.
You're listening to Paco Radio, brought to you by Senol on FNR, Football Nation Radio.